You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. CNN's poll. Trump's approval.
I was just about to refer that.
Now, remember, he got 53% of white female vote. Approval numbers down to 42%. Now, I said Donald Trump cannot have even a 5% drop among white women to win. He needs those numbers. White men, 54%. Again, I need y'all to understand, what did I tell y'all? I told you in the last election, 71% of the electorate was white. This election will likely be the first time in American history where less than 70% of the electorate will be white, which is why black men, black women, Hispanics, Asians must maximize their numbers to offset whites having almost 70% of all votes cast. But look at this approval rating. White women, 42%, white men, 54%, Hispanic women, 23%, Hispanic men, 37%, black women, 3%.
Yes.
I don't know who they are. Black men, 15%.
Who the hell are they?
Right.
No, I can tell you. I'm telling you.
You know my theory on who they are.
No.
Which is what I was going to talk about for the rest of the show if somebody would let me. It's the hidden apathy. You're talking about the people who don't care, and you went through those I don't cares, I don't cares, I don't cares. Black, educated men with money are having the apathetic streak that led them in numbers that were 5 times my sister's in voting for that man in the first place, and still are 5 times now as much in approval of this heinous, ridiculous man right now. It is a question of if he added something to the wallet, or if he did not take something from the wallet, or if he provided a job. People are not just, he doesn't just separate and parse white and everybody else. He splits up in between the everybody else till all you are in is your little silo, where what you're looking at is your particular house. And if your house is good, then you don't care. ADO's got their issues, right? And so they seem right now fine if Donald Trump gets elected again, because nobody else is offering a specific agenda, which means a check, which means reparations.
Which is ridiculous.
So now we got to write them off. Then, you know, the Hispanic people on that poll, I'm like, do they even see the border? Do they know that the babies that are in the cages are their babies? And they're approving because in the Hispanic community, there's a large subset, Cuban, that relates as white.
Right.
And support this man. Listen,
right.
you gotta see through. It's the third generation.
No.
Brown.
But you cannot overlook the fact that among Latinos, you cannot overlook the sway of the Catholic Church and the issue of abortion.
Yep.
You can't overlook that. But let me unpack the black male number. It's not just educated black men with money. It's not it. In 2012, there was a 9-point gap between black men and black women in Obama versus Romney. There was a 13-point gap between black men and black women, Hillary, Trump.
Yeah.
The White House,
women.
Right.
they've known about that 15% for 9 months. The White House, I need y'all to hear me, I'm not pontificating. I'm telling you what I know. absolutely understand, yes, I do talk to the White House. They believe they can get that to 20%. Because you have black men, a lot of them, high school degrees, not college degrees, who feel as if the Democratic Party doesn't speak to them. That's one. But here's the other thing that
Giving away their jobs, care more about everybody
here's the
else than
other
them.
thing that we have to also deal with. Men, including black men, respond to strength.
Perceived strength.
And you know,
No, let me unpack this.
Okay, because all the women wrote.
No.
We all collectively rose up. Like,
I need you to understand.
yeah.
When the amount of times I've covered the Nation of Islam. Folks, I don't understand. Why do black men respond to Farrakhan this way versus these preachers? I said strength. Black men, it's a strength thing. 2004. I remember the Associated Press did a story, the black barbershop, Philadelphia, I believe. And they said, these black barbers, they were talking, and the brother said, I'm gonna vote for Bush because Bush will kick your ass and he gonna mean it. Now you're like, I remember hearing the exact same thing in 2016. The quote was, he's full of it, but he means what he says.
It doesn't.
Now, when you
it
hear
doesn't
that,
track for Trump though the way it did with Bush. I understand with Bush.
No.
Trump is a whining voice.
No, but he may be whining, but he talks a lot of spit.
Just 1 second.
He talks a lot of spit.
So what happens is, you got somebody sitting there, and oh man, he talking tough. It's that John Wayne thing. And I'm sitting there going, yo, y'all can sit here and hear all of that, but here's how all the reasons why this man is screwing you while you praising him because he tough. The problem is not just condemning, like what the hell y'all thinking, but you gotta create a narrative where a person goes, oh damn, I ain't realize all that. Because all they're responding to is the strength.
Well, there's another piece of it.
Go ahead.
The other piece of it is patriarchy. I mean, black men, white men, men are into patriarchy. I mean, men first, women second. So when Trump says he's going to grab them there are men who are tickled by that or like it, or they want to grab somebody by the
But I don't want you to I'm telling you.
I think those go hand in hand.
I don't want,
because strength is perceived
I
as
don't
male.
want you to overlook the strength part.
But that's
I'm saying this because in order to understand why I said 15, I now got to understand how I got to counter program. So black men, and the White House is doing it, which is why I say it right here. It was dangerous, the public pronunciations of Van Jones. And I say, I love my brother, but I said why it was dangerous. So when the White House, First Step Act, you have these black men who are responding to that, and I'm going, yeah. But the same White House has told U.S. attorneys prosecute to the maximum.
Absolutely.
The same White House has said get rid of consent decrees.
So
See, so I got to factor why they're responding to know how to counter it.
But it's symbolism, Roland. When you have the First Step Act, and he's pardoned a handful of people who had drug offenses, that's symbolism. And the substance piece is, as you say, the consent decrees being nullified and all of that. And again, I think it goes back to the patriarchy issue and the extent to which all men are patriarchs.
Hold tight 1 second. Congressman Valdez is speaking.
Interference into U.S. elections. But then the day after the special counsel testified before Congress, the president, feeling undeterred and emboldened, said, called President Zelensky and pressured him to help him rig the elections, and chose to hold much-needed military aid over our allies' head until the president's demands were met. Now, I served 12 years on the hostage negotiations team, and I know that pressure and demands come in many forms. And in this scheme, we had both. I've enforced the laws, and now I write the laws. But the laws mean nothing if the accused can destroy evidence, stop witnesses from testifying, and blatantly refuse to cooperate. I ask you to name somebody in your community or your family who can do that. I know the president said that he can get away with anything he wants to. I come today to tell you that no, he cannot, because no one is above the law, and he shall be held accountable.
Gentleman from Georgia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. At this moment, I yield for unanimous.
The reason I'm pushing back on the patriarchy is because you had two men who were running in 2012. Obama, Romney. Will explains the 9 points. See, I'm not just looking at Hillary Clinton.
To the white people. White people are still patriarchy. White people are still in charge.
No. But what I'm saying
And
is,
Obama, Romney, white men. Obama, black men.
Yeah.
So, you know, unfortunately, we do not respect ourselves often as black people. Black women are more critical than other black women when they're running for public office. Sisters are the ones who basically throw the shade. So if you look at a Romney, Obama, you're looking at the black people who think the white man's ice is colder.
Again, what I'm looking at is something that I've had this conversation with Tom Perez. He has said to me, they are aware this is a problem. They have been trying to counter that, but I'm telling you, Democrats had better be extremely scared of that 15%.
Oh yeah.
Because if that 15 goes to 17 or 18, in many ways what it does is it counters an increase in black female voter turnout. And so what Donald Trump is looking at, they're looking at margins. They ain't trying to win by 100,000 votes.
But that's
he
why
only won by 78,000 votes.
But that's why
In
he's
large
being
part.
impeached, because they figured out a long time ago that the only real issue would be Biden, because Biden is the counterpuncher. He's the other person who will have strength. He's the other person that stands for the old guard. He's the other person that you really can't tell what's going to come out of his mouth. And if you say something, he's going to say something back to you. And for those who are interested in that, he presents that. And they saw him as a threat early on, and he's getting
I remember
handed to him because of it.
Latasha Brown with Black Voters Matter. A few months ago, she said, damn it, I just learned that, I think she said her daddy and her uncle, both engineers in Mississippi, voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Right.
She was like, y'all need to pray. She said, let me just go ahead and just start praying right now.
Right, and I think that that's why this is going to be a community vote, and I keep stressing over-indexing because if I don't have faith that this is something that the DNC is going to tackle. I think that this is.
Means, Erica. Come on, political jargon.
I do not
what does
believe
over-indexing mean.
Over-indexing means everybody has to show up for the collard greens. Everybody has to show up. That means everybody of voting age has to show up and vote. And I do believe that the Gen Z generation, there's a lot of kind of focus on the millennials, which you have millennials that'll be turning 39, entering into their 40th year of life as young as mid-20s. We've got to start focusing on those that are 17, 18, and in their early 20s. But then also seeing that number of 15% black men, that does not shock me. But that's where we have, as a community, particularly black men, who do have platforms, who do have some type of check where they can go in and talk to these brothers to say, well, listen, though the appeal is to strong men, because that's just not something that we see in the United States, right? That's something that we're seeing across the geopolitical spectrum. We have folks over in the continent that do respond to Trump positively because he does show up as a strong man, not necessarily intelligent, but strong. So that's where, again, we have got to have people that do have arm in the community, that do have a level of political knowledge to say that, listen, this is not on the backs and on the laps and on the arms and the shoulders of black women. This is also on us as well. And let me say to you that while there is an appeal to strength, this is how it is killing you, your children, your auntie, your mama, your cousin, your boot, like all of those people as well.
You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it. Thank you.